Denver 7 News. Facing a judge, the suspect accused of killing an Arvada police officer in court this morning, when we expect new details in the case to come out. Turning to technology, the threat of wildfires has one Colorado county looking at smart tech in the fight against these disasters. And still gaining strength after battering Puerto Rico, Hurricane Fiona set to hit even more islands. Could do so as a Category 3 or stronger storm.
We're in for one more warm day before this next cold front hits. Showers will develop tonight into tomorrow, and coming up here in a few minutes, I'll show you just how much cooler it's going to get in your neighborhood.
But we start with breaking news. The Colorado Avalanche have re-signed Nathan MacKinnon to a massive contract extension. The Avs tweeted out 8 more for Nate the Great. TSN is reporting this 8-year deal makes MacKinnon the highest paid player in the NHL in terms of average annual value. The team will reportedly pay their assistant captain $12.6 million per year. Of course, we'll be sure to follow this story throughout the day online and on Denver 7+. But also this morning, the suspect accused of killing an Arvada police officer was in a Jefferson County courtroom this morning. As he heard the formal charges against him, lawyers for Sonny Almanza say they'll decide by Friday whether to fight the release of investigative documents that will shed a lot more light on what happened the morning Officer Dylan Vakoff was killed. Denver 7's Christian Lopez was in court and breaks down the new charges as the community continues to reflect on Vakoff's sacrifice.
Sonny Almanza, the man accused of killing Officer Dylan Vakoff, was back in this Jefferson County courthouse this morning where he was read all of his charges. Almanza is facing 11 charges in connection to the deadly September 11th shooting that killed Officer Vakoff and left another woman, Mercedes Lopez, injured. Almanza was also shot during the exchange but was taken into custody after he was released from the hospital last week. His charges include first-degree murder of a peace officer and criminal attempt to commit murder in the first degree. We know the entire community has been mourning the loss of Officer Vakoff. Last night during Arvada City Council meeting, Mayor Mark Williams took a moment to honor and remember Officer Vakoff, calling him a, quote, homegrown hero.
Particularly hard for us in Arvada because it was the second line of duty police officer death in 15 months. This reopened wounds for our police department, for our city team, for each of us on City Council and our entire community.
Almanza is currently being held at the Jefferson County Jail without bail. Reporting in Golden, I'm Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
Thank you. The Weld County Sheriff's Office says a man is in custody in connection with the death of a Weld County deputy. Octavio Gonzalez Garcia was arrested around 10:15 last night in Fort Collins. Investigators say there's evidence he was drunk when he crashed into Deputy Alexis Hynutz on Sunday. She was riding her motorcycle to work and would have turned 25 this Sunday. She joined the Sheriff's Office back in 2018. The Sheriff's Office is collecting donations to help her family with funeral costs. We have more details on Denver7.com. Let's talk weather now. One more day of summer-like temps, and then a big change is headed our way. You know, see the blue sky there? That's probably going to change as well. Meteorologist Lisa Hidalgo joins us now, bringing word of a major cool down, Lisa.
That shot's going to look a lot different tomorrow at this time. You're right. Already starting to see some of the rain rolling in from the west. Scattered showers on the western slope and also up and through the northern Front Range mountains now. So we're starting to see more building cloud cover in the high country down here. It's gorgeous. It's warm. We're already at 80 degrees downtown and out at the airport. So close to our normal high for the day before we even get to the lunch hour. So pretty warm, and we're going to climb to near 90 here between about 3 and 4 o'clock. It looks like it may be one of our last, probably the last 90-degree day of the season. We've seen quite a few. We'll talk more about that coming up. Denver 90, Highlands Ranch today 89, 70s to low 80s in the mountains. It will be a lot cooler tomorrow. We'll take a closer look at the timing of this rain and just how much cooler it will get. Jason?
Lisa, thank you. Wildfires have always been a risk here in Colorado, but the Marshall Fire heightened everyone's awareness of just how easily one can happen in a place like Louisville or Superior. Now Boulder County is trying out smart technology to detect and prevent wildfires. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta reports on what they're hoping this tech will accomplish.
The Marshall Fire destroyed so many neighborhoods, the Sagamore neighborhood where we are today being just one of them. This place used to be filled with houses, cars in the driveway, even children's bikes. And now Boulder County is choosing to turn to AI technology to help avoid something like the Marshall Fire from ever happening here again. Specifically, they're turning to a company that's called Pano AI. So take a look at your screen here. You see what this new technology kind of looks like, those cameras on top of towers. That height gives them the ability to overlook a big area, keeping an eye out for any wildfires. That's basically what Pano AI will offer Boulder County, this active wildfire detection to help it stop any future catastrophic wildfires. Part of why this is so important too is because the technology is going to lend a helping hand to firefighters in the area. You see it happening in some of this video, the camera able to detect the slightest bit of fire activity, and then you see that smoke start popping up. That gives fire crews a head start on a fire that they maybe wouldn't have had before. And Boulder County and Pano, they plan on announcing their partnership during a press conference later this morning. We know that they hope to have the technology up on those towers as soon as possible so that they can start using them and use them throughout the rest of the year. In Superior, I'm Veronica Acosta, number 7.
Now, we wanted to give you more insight into this new firefighting tool. Gilpin County, which includes Black Hawk and Central City, was the first Colorado county to test fire sensors. They've installed 8 so far. They plan to install between 40 and 45 sensors in total. We checked in this week. Officials told us the sensors did their job recently when they registered smoke. Fortunately, it was smoke from the California fires and not a local wildfire. There are new concerns about what caused a fire Saturday night at a homeless camp in Denver. Fire crews said it burned dozens of tents at 8th and Elodie and damaged a neighbor's fence. Now, nobody was hurt, but the camp was sanctioned and had been celebrated by the Colorado Village Collaborative as safe. But the camp's neighbors have argued for months that it's not.
They're not good neighbors, and that's kind of the issue we've had this entire time, is that, there's no transparency with what goes on inside this camp. It was extremely scary. I literally thought my house was going to go on fire. It was very, very frightening, and I do feel bad for all of the homeless people that lost all of their stuff because it's not their fault that they're here.
The encampment was set to be taken down at the end of November. Right now, all those who are living there are in other housing. It's unclear if the encampment will open again. To the Caribbean this morning, where Hurricane Fiona is gaining strength. Here's a live look at the Turks and Caicos Islands, where conditions are going downhill quickly. As Fiona is barreling towards that area, you can see the rain and some of the wind there on the surf. It is threatening to make landfall, that storm, as a Category 3 hurricane. The storm has already killed 2 people in Puerto Rico, where it's left thousands of people in the dark, along with massive flash flooding. ABC's Jay O'Brien reports.
Thousands in Puerto Rico without electricity after powerful winds and rain from Hurricane Fiona rocked the island for 2 days.
We are really focused now on what is it that we need to do to bring this power back up. But as we go into the recovery and as we continue to recover from Maria, we want to make sure that we're rebuilding and supporting Puerto Rico and making sure we're rebuilding it in a way that it's more resilient.
The storm leaving hundreds of thousands without water. This morning, Puerto Rico's power supplier, Luma Energy, saying more than 8 in 10 customers are still in the dark. Exactly 5 years after Hurricane Maria devastated the island, killing an estimated 3,000 people, Puerto Ricans fleeing floodwaters again.
This is the Plata River from the Pasarel Bridge in Comerillo. It is approximately maybe 10 feet from hitting the bridge.
This drone video from the town of Yauco showing the devastation. Across Puerto Rico, at least 2 people are confirmed dead. More than 1,000 others were rescued by first responders. The territory's governor calling Fiona's damage catastrophic, as some parts of the island still rebuilding from Maria are dealt another blow.
We had a good plan. We have a strategy. We were able to work with FEMA to ensure that finally the reconstruction started to take off. Now with the Fiona situation, certainly we have to reevaluate.
And Fiona is right now barreling towards the Turks and Caicos Islands. It's currently a Category 3 hurricane, but it could strengthen into a Category 4 by later today. Jay O'Brien, ABC News, Washington.
Now we have an update to a story first reported by Denver 7 Investigates. The Aurora City Council is changing course when it comes to the use of new sedatives by Aurora fire paramedics. City council members were set to introduce a resolution banning Aurora fire paramedics from using any new sedatives for 3 years. If that had passed, the ban would have immediately gone into effect. However, at last night's meeting, city council members said that measure could not move forward, at least not as a resolution. Instead, they introduced an ordinance banning paramedics from using any new sedatives for 2 years. Now, there are several steps now the city council will need to take before this ordinance can be put into effect. It passed out of a study session last night. It will be discussed at the full city council meeting next Monday. 3 Colorado counties have just over 3 months left to create their own health departments before Tri-County Health ends its operations. Those counties are Adams, Arapahoe, and Douglas counties. Douglas County Commissioner Laura Thomas says the Douglas County Health Department will have 41 employees and will cost the county $2.5 million. You can learn more during a town hall meeting tonight at 6 p.m. It's at the County Commissioner's Hearing Room in Castle Rock, or you can join in online. Well, it's already that time of year here in Colorado. Leaf peeping season is kicking off. When and where to enjoy the beautiful fall colors in the high country. And fighting childhood cancer, how one Colorado group is giving kids a chance to live their dream.